It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show!
Hey there, everybody. It is the Fellowship of the Geeks podcast. My name's Thomas Chick, and joining me for this episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey, gang.
Les Webster.
Hello, all.
And Liz Newman.
Hello, everybody.
How are you guys doing?
Delightful.
Yay.
Sorry, can't top that.
Damn. We're a bundle of fun tonight, ain't we?
Hope everybody else is doing okay out there. So what's been going on in your corner of the galaxy?
Well, I don't have a lot I can talk about because a lot of what I've done this week is in preparation for show tonight, kind of walk down memory lane. So, yeah.
Hey, no hour-long rant.
Right. I did watch a billionaire launch himself to the edge of space the other day. That was pretty cool.
But now they're arguing. Aren't they arguing whether or not he went to space?
Well, he only went to the edge of space. And that's only because I think it's Bezos is supposed to go into outer space tomorrow. So
It's next week, but yeah.
Yeah. He sped everything up by 4 days in order to do this. So.
Anything you can do.
Right.
Right, but it wasn't a race.
No, it wasn't a race.
Of course not. So they're doing totally different things.
And of course, the biggest thing, other than how cool this was, because I really don't care who was in the plane or whatever spacecraft he used, which was kind of looked like a plane kind of thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
That advances us. Like, I don't care who did it, just that we can do it now totally puts a footprint on our space march. I mean, I know people feel like it was wasted money. But I hate to remind people, when a billionaire spends money, they just don't throw it into a volcano. I mean,
right, it goes into the economy.
It did. People had jobs, help. People probably put their kids through college being paid for what they did to do this, So I like I said, any kind of advancement we can make, I'm all for it. Hey, we need to do this. We've been stuck in this rut for a long time now. And we need to get out there, and not as in a race to beat any country or any person, but just to advance ourselves. We need to get out there. So
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, I thought that was pretty cool.
Also, suck it, Bezos.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah, I saw the whole discussion on social media when that was going on about, well, that money could have gone to this, that, and the other, and try to help better people here on Earth. And I'm just like, I really didn't want to get involved with that. It just,
Yeah.
Because when we were doing it as NASA. I mean, there was advancement in technology and all that helped us. Yeah. So I mean, and it can help as well. But I mean,
but the government quit paying for it. That's like, it was so hilarious. The guy needed burn cream when NASA was done with them. Congress has called NASA into Congress because they're like, we gave you some money. Well, what Trump had given them was cut in half when Biden took office. And so in order to make up for this loss of money that had taken away from them, SpaceX has actually stepped in and been like, well, we can fund this booster we're working on, and we can help you, basically let us help you cut corners. We're in this together. You get into space, we're getting into space, So they've taken a lot of money doing that. Well, Congress was like, well, we want this and we want this. And the guy flat out told him, well, sirs, you didn't pay for that. You didn't pay me enough to do that. So, no, you won't be getting that report. But the guy who actually gave us the money to do this will be getting that report. But it was just hilarious because it was pretty much, you guys are wanting the stars, but you're giving us freaking baloney to make a spaceship to hit the stars, So, and we only knew it was a certain amount of time before NASA would have to branch out and take other donations and technology and just to, once again, to advance ourselves, Not everybody wants to think in the government box, which you have to almost anyways for permits and that kind of thing. But I just thought it was kind of cool that NASA kind of put their foot down and was like, if you want that, pay us for that, because we can't do that on what you gave us. You're talking billions and you gave us millions.
Now I want baloney too.
Yeah. Well, they're wanting a Mercedes for a Volkswagen price tag, It's like you can't do that, No.
No. You don't get to change your metaphor now that the baloney's out there. No. We're on baloney.
Okay. They wanted steak, and they gave them baloney.
They got baloney. Right. That's better.
They wanted the whole pig. But like I said, it was kind of one of those nerd chuckles. Most people probably didn't even know what that meeting was about.
Right.
So it was kind of like, yeah. But, yeah, like I said, anytime we can make advancements like that, I'm all for it. I don't care who's in the driver's seat, whether it be us or China or Russia, anything that we can find out about something other than Earth, and face it, guys, we are not nice to our planet. We are totally not nice to her at all. We've abused her. We've wrecked her land. For my grandbaby's sake and her kid's sake, how much longer is this world going to be habitable? We've got places right now reaching 120 degrees that normally don't see that, and you can bang on a gong, but it doesn't seem like people are listening, So what's the next choice you have? You got to find something better and leave those assholes here to burn up on their own. So, yeah, that's it.
Space planes, burned cream, and baloney. That's what Liz did this week.
That's what I did this week. And poison ivy, and not the comic kind.
Not the good kind, right? Alrighty, well, cool. So
you weren't ready yet, were you?
No, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I got my documentary of the week all lined up. My documentary of the week is called Hollywood in the Atomic Age. And it is actually brand spanking new. Apparently it just came out this year, which is interesting because knowing that, I didn't realize that when I was watching it. I figured that out after, and it makes me think that maybe some of the interviews from this documentary were not original to this documentary, but that's okay. They were still pretty well put together. They tout this as the complete story of Hollywood's horror and sci-fi films of the 1950s. Complete is a stretch, but it covers a lot of good stuff. It covers a good sampling of movies from 1951 to about 1964. Mostly the sci-fi horror stuff. So they start off with The Day the Earth Stood Still, which we've talked about, and carry on through various subgenre type stuff. Like there's some monster movies in there. There's the teenage horror stuff from the late 50s and early 60s, and lots of cool stuff, and kind of wraps up with Creature from Black Lagoon. I say that, but I mean, it talks about like the Fly and the War of the Worlds. There's an entire section on William Castle. Like I said, lots of good samples from that era of good movies. To be fair, I mean, there's lots of fun stories, and there are lots of interviews with people who were actually involved in making these movies from 70 years ago, which, like I said, I think some of the interviews are a few years old too. But it was put together pretty well. The production value is a bit low, but that's okay. Like I said, the information is good, and so it kind of makes up for that a little bit. So if you have not seen a lot of these movies, and honestly, if you're listening to us, you've probably seen a lot of these movies, but it's a pretty good sampling, and there's some good stories involved, so it's definitely worth checking out. And I found it on Tubi.
On Tubi. And what was the name?
Hollywood in the Atomic Age.
Cool.
I know Les is going to want to see it.
I am definitely going to want to see that.
Yeah, sounds pretty cool.
It does.
Oh, and also one other thing for
Oh, God.
Just one more thing.
Just one thing. For those of you who wanted to watch Titans but don't have HBO Max, TNT is now going to play the series. Excuse me. TNT, I think it actually starts tonight. So if you haven't seen it,
that'll be a week ago
it,
for those of you listening at home.
Yeah.
It's on Monday nights. Yeah.
But I think TNT has the kind of app that's a little better than CW's, where you can actually go and watch the stuff, and
Well, if nothing else, more than likely they will rerun it a couple of times during the week as well, so you probably can catch up pretty easily.
Yep.
If I remember TNT all that well,
and it's pretty good. So I didn't know if you guys had seen it yet or not, but
Titan.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's Teen Titans, but
okay.
yeah.
Cool.
And I'll have to admit, when I first started watching the show, I wanted to hate it because the way they sold the show was with Nightwing going fuck Batman. But once you actually see what's going on, it makes sense that he said that, because he was kicking their ass, and it was kind of like, who needs Batman? You're still getting your ass handed to you. So it was kind of one of those kind of things. But yes, it does show the strained relationship that Nightwing and Damian both have with Bruce. So, or no, it's not Damian. Who is the other Robin?
Tim?
Maybe it is Tim.
Or Jason.
It's Jason. Yes, it's Jason.
Okay.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I remember this season 3, they're introducing him as Red Hood, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah.
Because, and it's kind of cool too, because Nightwing's always painted Batman as just an uncaring parent. No, this is kind of when Batman put his foot down. Kind of, you're the sidekick, not the hero. Which in the Batman gig, Robin is a side hero. He's not Batman. So little Robin had to get his wings and fly, and he did. It's pretty cool what he did. So
it sounds like I didn't do anything.
I doubt that.
I've been watching Gotham and have enjoyed that. I think that was a really good show.
That was.
That's about all I've done.
I've been thinking about going back and rewatching that too.
Yeah, when you can go and binge watch it, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I've liked it.
And it
I'm not.
ended because they knew they were ending.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, is that all, Les?
That's about it.
Okay, no, I mean that's fine. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, how many seasons of Gotham was there? I mean, that's a lot of binge watching, right?
Well, that's
5 or
seasons.
6. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hours.
Mm. I caught a documentary, although it's one of these that seems like it was made for TV or something like that. Not that it's saying it was bad or anything. It was okay. Titled "The Many Faces of Dracula," and they really promote the fact that it's hosted by Christopher Lee. But he's not on there. He's got these little spots where he spouts off some of this information, but the voiceover is someone totally different. It's one of those type of specials, which I always kind of giggle at that. It's like, well, yeah, you're hosting, but you're not really doing everything.
Right, you're not narrating, which is
you're
a
not narrating.
different gig apparently.
Yeah.
Well, when did this come out?
I would have to go back and look. It was probably early 2000s because, unfortunately, Christopher Lee's been gone for a few years.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Is if he was like 90 years old at the time, they probably couldn't get him. They probably couldn't get him to commit to doing a whole lot of work for it.
Let me see if I can get that date here real quick. But anyway, it was kind of interesting. Obviously, they go back from the writing of the Bram Stoker's novel through the plays and then movies, starting with Nosferatu and all that. And it was kind of interesting. Something that never dawned on me, and they kind of played with it in a humorous tone, especially since it was Christopher Lee doing the hosting, is they talk about the fact that Christopher Lee has played the role 8 times. He's the actor who's played the character the most in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is John Carradine, which is something I never even think about.
Mm-hmm.
He did like 6 movies and then a couple appearances on TV and all that. But when you think of Dracula, what image comes to your mind?
Lugosi.
Yep.
Who only played it twice.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like,
and there was quite a few years between the two roles.
Yeah, and they kind of mentioned that too. Yeah, it was like 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
He came back to do it when he was facing Abbott and Costello. So, so they talk about that. So, I mean, Lugosi played a lot of other vampires, but he's only played Dracula those two times.
Mm-hmm.
And they also mentioned about the whole fact about the Spanish edition being filmed at the same time as the American version.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about they mention, and I have not heard this before. Maybe you guys can confirm or not, that in some circles the Spanish version is supposed to be a superior version than the American.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yes.
It was directed by a different director.
Right.
It's all on all the same sets.
Yeah.
But it would be like the Browning and Lugosi and the Day crew would come in and do their stuff, and then when they left, the Spanish crew would come in. Totally different cast, totally different director. The movie's like half an hour longer.
Yeah,
whether that makes it make sense more or not, it's like 20 some odd minutes longer than the Browning version. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't react well to Todd Browning as a director anyway, so it's kind of not surprising to me. But it also, there's more of the story in it in the Spanish version, so yeah, I can see where people like it better. if you can handle the subtitles, it's actually a good watch,
Yeah,
especially in comparison.
I definitely need to watch that. I'm kind of curious, and I did look. It was 2000. So yeah.
Yeah, so he was getting up there.
Yeah. But it was kind of an interesting watch. They spent a lot of time during the Hammer era, and then of course during the 70s, and of course they had to mention the Frank Langella version, which I have not seen that in forever. I would like to see that one again. Frank Langella and Donald Pleasance and Laurence Olivier. Laurence Olivier playing Van Helsing in a horror movie. That kind of blows my mind when I think about it, because that's not a genre he really did.
Right.
You know.
Well, okay.
He did like suspense and that kind of stuff, but I mean
you could make some arguments about The Boys from Brazil, but that's a different kind of movie. It's an interesting movie.
Yeah, true. So it was kind of interesting, kind of watching that. Not a lot more than that. Just kind of just watching here and there, that kind of stuff, and yeah, just not a lot.
Nothing else noteworthy. Yeah.
Not really. Not something I haven't already mentioned on the show 2 or 3 times before. So yeah, why bring it up? Well, oh. All right. Cool. Before we get into this week's discussion, do you want to bring to your attention that we do have a Discord? I think we did mention it a couple times already. That y'all are more than welcome to come join us. Sign up is free. The app is free. We do have an invite on our homepage, www.thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. We post a lot of news items. We post some funny stuff. We post stuff for discussion. We've had movie nights in the past, and I'm sure we'll have some down the road. There's actually a couple ones I have made some suggestions recently, including Old Dracula. I want to see that just because it's David Niven playing Dracula. I never knew that ever happened. Now, the movie looks horrible. It looks like it's going to be just really bad, but still, David Niven playing Dracula. I got to. Just at least once.
Is that the one that had like a bunch of Playboy Playmates in it too?
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Because
it has
I've seen that too.
It has the actress from Christy Love. I can't remember her name right now, because they talk about that on the trailer. And I was like, and it's Wolfman Jack doing the voiceover for the trailer. I mean, how 70s can you get? Wolfman Jack. So we have that. We have some monthly activities that we do. So you're more than welcome to come join us. Once again, the website's www.thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. Right there, our homepage is an invite. You just click on that little image. Like I said, sign up's free. The app's free, so you can put it on your Android or
iPhone is the other side.
iPhone, yeah, or tablet or whatever. So there you go. Come join us if you like.
Yeah.
All right. We are continuing Retro Month, and if you have not checked out the last couple of episodes, what we've been doing since this is our 6th year of podcasting, I had taken a trip back to our first year, and it was kind of looking at some of the topics that we had discussed and thought we might revisit them. And so for this week, we are revisiting episode number 17. And there was when I went back and listened to this, I realized that there was some confusion, and it could have been on my part. Maybe because we were the original intention was the cartoons you wanted to reboot, but I think we handle it as reboot or just continued, and that's the way we're going to go with it, since that's how we kind of basically did it the first time. So these are cartoons we would love to see back, either as a reboot or a continuation. So who would like to go first with their first choice?
I'll start us off. Unless you want to.
No, go ahead.
My first one, a lot of people when I talk about this, they look at me like I'm crazy. I think,
can't imagine why they would do that.
No.
Well,
Can't
they
imagine
don't
that
remember it. And I'll have to say most of mine are from the 80s. So this one was called The Littles. It was a boy named Henry who had these little people. They weren't mice, but they kind of looked like mice, I guess. But they looked like human mice, if that makes sense. They had tails and stuff. But they lived behind the walls and had like little thimbles for seats and, spools for tables, that kind of thing. They were littles. But they always had some kind of gadget to solve whatever problem they were helping with, or if Henry was in trouble, to help him out and everything else. I would like to see that one continue. It was a cute little story. Most people, when I tell them what it was about, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the Borrowers." No, it's not the Borrowers. This was called The Littles.
Right, it's what the Borrowers ripped off.
Exactly. So, but it was cute. It was really cute. I don't know why they didn't keep it around longer than they did. That one ran from 83 to 85.
I remember this one. I remember seeing bits and pieces of it. It was not one that I actively watched, but I do remember it being on. So I do, yeah. So
Yeah, it sounds familiar to me too.
Yay! Like I said, most people are like, "No, never heard of that one."
Well, and that's not one of those that gets picked up and replayed. Oh, God knows when the last time it's been on.
Right. Now, on
regular
Amazon,
TV.
Amazon has a channel you can get for, I think it's either $3.99 or $4.99 a month, called the Cartoon Channel, but cartoon is with a K, and they do have the first season of this on there.
Well, there you
go. So it's playing somewhere.
$4 a month is not too much for nostalgia purposes, right?
Yeah, and they have a lot of the older cartoons like this, like the old DuckTales and Alf and that kind of stuff. So
The old ones?
the old ones, not reboots. They even have the old Johnny Quest from the 64, 65. The good one.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Imagine that. Liz picked something cute.
Yeah, really.
I did not pick something cute for my first one. And I actually I'm dropping my bombshell on this one right up front, because this one breaks the rules quite a bit.
Oh, Lord.
But I don't care. I'm going to break the rules for this one. The other two are a little more within the rules. But I thought about this and thought about this and thought about this. And to be fair, cartoons, when I was a kid, cartoons was not a thing I was really paid that much attention to. I'm not exactly sure why, but I didn't get into like animated stuff until much later, until like college. So a lot of my stuff that I have nostalgia for is from the 90s, not from the 80s. But for this one, I am not doing that. What I want to see is a series. And my suggestion is like a Netflix series with like half a dozen like 30 to 40 minute episodes, but I want it to be heavy metal. I just think I think it would be interesting to go into that again now. I think I think the original movie, um, I th- I think it's an important movie.
Hmm.
I think it's an important work of animation, and I think that the attempts to recreate it later on, like sequels and stuff, did not come close to the original. And I'm not saying this will fix the problem, but I think it's been long enough. I think we need to try again.
Yep.
Do something like 20-minute stories.
Yeah.
And handle it like an anthology. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that would
absolutely.
work very well.
And spread
Yeah.
it out,
Mhm.
and you break it up like that. Spread it out over 6 or 8 of those,
Hmm.
and there you go. And then you do it again in a year or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Wait a little while before you try. I mean, don't try to flood the market with it,
Right.
but yeah, give us a series. I mean, we're in the streaming era now. This is ideal for this.
Now, wasn't there a Heavy Metal 2?
Yes,
But it wasn't it. It didn't deal with the orb like the first one, right?
right. There was not an overarching story.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very flimsy in the first one, but it was there and it
Yeah.
helped. But
Kind of
yeah,
tie everything. That would be cool. Like all the different places the orb has been in the hands and stories that it holds,
right. I mean, and ultimately that would even the orb itself was just sort of a manifesting of evil
Yeah.
in simple terms. Do something similar. Find something else to manifest, or go with that even to start with.
Yeah.
Whatever. Just yeah. Find a way to make that. Yeah. I mean, it would be fun to even just sit down and brainstorm how you would do it.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my vote.
That's cool.
I like that idea.
I second it.
Okay. Les, did you want to go next, or did you want me to go?
You go ahead, please.
Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna pick a cartoon that's from the '90s. It would be interesting to see how it would be handled today. I think you'd still play it the way it originally played because it was such a joke. The character was such a joke that it was just only way anyone would really get offended is if they're not paying attention to what the hell's going on. But I loved the show, and I'm talking about Johnny Bravo.
Well, I like that choice.
Me too.
Oh, mama.
Oh, Mom.
It was such a funny show.
It was.
But
It was.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it was goofy, but it was stylized goofy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. It was meant to be goofy. It was.
Right.
I mean, it was self-parody basically. It was this big dumb character being big and dumb at things and not getting it in a way that the audience can see. I mean, it's almost satirical in its own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it just seems to me that if it was new today, I think some people would take offense of how he's always hitting on all the women,
Yeah.
even though they would turn around and kick his ass.
He was the male buffed up version of Pepe Le Pew.
Kinda, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. So
Yeah,
that
and
would be the only problem. So
that had
But, yeah.
Tom Kenny in it. SpongeBob tie. He was Carl.
Oh, was he? Cool.
Uh-huh. And then also Mark Hamill was the sea captain.
oh, Mark was everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like Mark needed a job, but
No, yeah. Especially during that time, But yeah, a lot of good voice actors in that one. Mae Whitman, Larry Drake.
Oh,
I like that.
we could spend a whole episode just geeking out over voice actors, honestly.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Dawes Butler,
Yeah.
Mel Blanc. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus
Frank
all their
Welker.
guest stars that they had. And
What'd
of
you
course,
say, Thomas?
Frank Welker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
being from Butch Hartman, he also did like Fairly Odd Parents and pretty much all of the 90 kids' childhood.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we will revisit the whole Cartoon Network thing before this is over tonight. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Danny Phantom. Yeah, he did do a lot I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
And he always had a way of making it to where your kids could watch it, but you could laugh your ass off because you know it was so inappropriate what he just said.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why we enjoyed it.
Yeah. I think the Scooby episode was the best.
Oh, Scooby was
Scooby was fun.
Oh, that one was so fun. If you are an adult and couldn't laugh at that, then I really have
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with you.
He said a lot of
Sorry.
what we were thinking.
Yeah. And you could say, what a dumbass.
Yeah.
But still
And more
enjoy it.
specifically, you could laugh while you're saying what a dumbass.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, good choice.
That is a good choice. I'd forgotten about that one, so thank you.
Sure. All right, Les.
Well, my first choice has been mentioned, and that was Johnny Quest.
Ooh.
To me, it was just too short a run because there were so many stories that they could bring around.
Yes.
And the way I see it, this show was just kind of put in there because the writers were told, we need something that's exciting and adventurous, go. And it was based on some artwork, but I don't think any stories were done at that time. So
Yeah.
that's the one I want to bring forward, have
And-
some fun with.
You know, they tried to reboot it a couple of times after that,
Mm-hmm.
and it just, they didn't seem to capture that same, I mean, it's still good, but it wasn't the original, you know?
Right. Yes. You know, they had the comic book even, and that didn't fare so well, but it was, while it ran, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. But I was just one of a few, I guess. So.
I missed a good one. Yeah, actually, I had that one pulled up too.
Well, you can bring it up again.
No, I mean, that was cool.
Okay. Liz, I guess you're up again.
Okay, for my second one, actually, this was a 90s cartoon. It ran from 93 to 95, and I thought it was cute, and it was Two Stupid Dogs. It was stupid. I mean, it was stupider than shit, but it was funny because I guess when you have dogs, you're like, you know, I could see my little taco doing that. So I just thought it was funny. Just some of the goofy stuff they would get into. And it kind of was, I think this was on Boomerang. It was kind of like their solution to Ren and Stimpy at the time, but not as vulgar. And I don't mean that in like a perverted kind of way that Ren and Stimpy was. They were very raw, a little more out there, and this was a little bit more cutesy.
Right, it's a little more mainstream than Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, a little more
Right.
mainstream, and then in the whole relationship dynamic. I mean, you know, it was kind of Ren and Stimpy was a little bit on. I don't want to say abusive, but just
It pushed the envelope for sure.
yeah.
It
In a lot of
did.
ways. In a lot of ways.
It did. That was the one that usually parents like, no, you can't watch that.
Where Two Stupid Dogs, they didn't know. They didn't know better, but hey, it's everything's all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, life is okay.
it's all good.
Yeah. Now, who's surprised that she picked that?
I don't
It's a
see.
good choice. I like the show.
That's why she had Johnny Quest on hers too, is because there's a dog in that too.
Yeah, right.
But anyway.
But the guy Brad Garrett from Everybody Loves Raymond, he was the big dog. So if you thought
he's done quite a bit of voice work too.
He has, and of course I had Jim Cummings, who
Of course.
I don't know of anything he hasn't voiced, But yeah, so I liked that one.
Cool.
Yep. Oh, that's me then, huh?
Yeah, it's you now.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna. This one is going to surprise no one, coming from me.
Dun dun dun.
And I have a few ideas on how I think this should be done, but part of me is like, I don't care. I just want to see. I kind of just want to see more of it, and I kind of don't care how much they have to fiddle with the formula. I mean, the formula was a little flimsy to start with back in the day. But I would like to see an extension or continuation. I mean, honestly, at this point, it would kind of have to be sort of a reboot by itself. But I would like to see the Star Trek animated series revisited in some way. Because I mean, my preference would be to go with the original. I mean, you can't necessarily bring all the same actors in, but you'd have to revoice the original cast. But do more stories based on the original cast and the original series. I just think it would be an interesting, different way of approaching some of the stuff that they've been doing lately. Let's have a little throwback action to go with all of this revamp and regloss and repretty everything. Let's also have on the side, let's do a redo of the original series animated version. I mean, give it a shot, I think you might get more viewers than you think you will.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep. I do too. That would be cool. Okay, I guess I'm next, and Liz will be happy that I made this choice.
Got a dog in it?
It's kind of got a dog in it.
Kind of got.
Well, hang on.
Okay.
I always dug the show, although it's not one that's was played a whole hell of a lot. But I would like to see what they would do with it now. I would hope they would not take it down a dark path, since that seems to be the way they like to do things. Keep it kind of in the. It's not that it wasn't lighthearted. That it was lighthearted. It was somewhat serious, but there was some comedic aspects to it. Dynamite the Dog Wonder.
I liked him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have to pull blank here. This was before or after my time with cartoons,
after
I'm
yours.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, it was in the 70s, mid to late 70s. Blue Falcon and Dynamite.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he did make a couple of appearances on Scooby-Doo when they did their, it wasn't Where Are You? It was the other one. I can't remember now.
Well, there was like an animated movie within the last 10 or 15 years with the two of them as well.
And Dynamite was in Scoob.
him.
There you go.
So
I liked him. He was just a goofy. Anything that could go wrong, it was going to happen to Dino Mutt.
he was going to he was going to be the one that caused the problem. Yeah.
Right.
Wasn't he featured in the an episode or two for the Super Friends?
Maybe so.
Maybe, I don't recall that, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
If it wasn't him, it was something very similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
That might have been him. That might have been him.
That's just. I think it was. Let me see.
Because I right off the top of my head, I don't know if they ever explain what happened to Wendy and Marvin the Wonder Dog and how they were replaced by the Wonder Twins.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they ever explained it in the cartoon.
I think he was in Super Friends.
Okay. He may have. I don't recall that, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. It's just I
Wait.
don't
It's been a
recall
long
it.
time since I've watched the Super Friends.
No, wait. Now that I'm looking at the dog, it's not the same dog.
Okay.
He may have been called that too.
He got a new costume
Yeah.
when he got
Well,
his own
they-
show.
They both wear green and capes. But Dino Mutt was more of a robot dog, and he looks more like maybe a maybe Hip Hit.
Oh. Okay.
So, all right. How about you, Les?
Second one for me was Courage, the Cowardly Dog.
I wondered if he was going to come up in this.
And,
I liked him too.
And I know this is past my age because, cartoons for me were Huckleberry Hound and Jinx the Cat, things like that.
There's some good ones.
But these for some reason I latched onto because the stupidity of the program was beyond belief.
I liked that one.
Yeah. Poor dog.
Yeah.
You saw that they're doing an animated movie where they're teaming up Courage with Scooby, right?
Yes, I did see that.
Yep.
But that did not influence my choice.
I'm sure it didn't, but it kind of makes sense because both of them can just go crazy.
Right.
So, yeah, I watched that show off and on, and I did enjoy it. So it would be interesting to kind of see it continue or kind of start over with a kind of a little bit of a different take or what have you. But yeah.
Yep.
I like that one.
Of course.
And
you
I
like
did-
that one just like you like Huckleberry Hound. And
Yeah. Snagglefoot. I think it's Nickelodeon it's maybe it's Cartoon Network around Halloween time they'll play the Courage series. And I think it's stupid that they only do that around Halloween time,
Yeah, it's weird.
That's when people are scared.
Mm-hmm. I guess.
well, it's kind of the same thinking as doing Harry Potter marathons right around Christmas. Like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, there's a couple of scenes happening at Christmas time, but whatever.
Not a Christmas movie.
Die Hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It gets less every time when I bring that up.
I'm just glad my wife doesn't hear it.
Liz, you have a third choice?
I do.
Sounds like she's got a list over there.
I do. I mean, just stop me when y'all want to.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
My third choice, it ran from 82 to 84. It was also a group of cute talking animals. Excuse me. Cute talking animals, and they wore colorful shirts. So they were a little different than the Care Bears, which were also pretty cool during that time. They were called the Shirt Tails. Every time they would think something important or, whatever was relating to whatever they were doing, usually which was driving Mr. Dinkle crazy, the word would come up on their shirt, but it was cute. They couldn't, kind of the way Perry is, like secret spy, nobody can see what he's doing. The Shirt Tails were the same way. Mr. Dinkle could never find out that they'd left the zoo. And of course, they always had to leave the zoo to help other people, and so it was cute, the little ways they came up with to get them out, But I wouldn't want them to reboot this. I would want to continue, because each cartoon, especially around the age I was 7, each cartoon had a moral to it, and it was always helping each other. Your friends help your friends no matter what the cost, because they were always being threatened to be shipped out of the zoo if they got caught. So it was, cute little moral story, cute little any kind of talking animals, So, yeah,
So-
I chose the Shirt Tails.
So if a word shows up on their shirt, do they ever have any episodes where they had to blur the word out?
No, thank God. Now, Adult Swim version, yes.
I know, my brain goes to the robot chicken option right off the bat, but yeah. Cool. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Can't say I've ever seen any of those.
Yeah, it's not ringing a bell right now, but doesn't mean anything.
Right. That's
It
not
was
a bad
also Hanna-Barbera. On Sunday mornings, on Saturday mornings, Hanna-Barbera had like a 3-hour block.
thing.
And this was one of their things. Plus, later on, the reruns, I think why I liked it so much was my grandparents, they didn't have cable or anything. They had the rabbit ears that you had to put the foil on and hold your foot a certain way to get the channel to come in. But this was always one that would come on because it was a local channel, and, so.
Apparently the person who ran the local channel, their kids liked it, so they kept showing it.
Yep. It was a Saturday staple for sure.
Cool.
Alrighty, Mikey.
Okay, so my I'm gonna keep my promise. I promised I would bring up Cartoon Network again. And I'm not so concerned about a series with this. I actually kind of want a full-length animated movie.
Okay.
And I want it with today's technology.
Okay.
And the
3D?
the technology is important. You can do it in 3D if you want. Although that technology, believe me, I just watched a documentary about atomic age movies, and there were some 3D movies talked about in that. But I want to see a Dexter's Laboratory. Full length, full blown animated movie.
I almost picked that one too.
Because I always liked Dexter, and I think what Dexter needed, or what would be fun to do with Dexter, is just blow up the scope really big. And I don't even know where you would go with a story, but give him an excuse to just go nuts and take his little laboratory and keep building onto it and make it this big massive thing and do like huge massive things. Why not? It would just be fun.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also another one that Tom Kenny was in.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of the same people were in a lot of those, a relatively short list of shows there for a little while at the beginning of the whole Cartoon Network thing.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, they built what we have today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And some of them are still going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Like I said, I almost picked that one too.
Hearing that a lot, aren't we, guys?
We're just knocking stuff off of Liz's list.
Right.
Rapid fire here. It's
I'm
great.
like, I can close that tab and that tab.
Okay. So it's my turn. I really loved this show when it was on a few years ago. I was kind of surprised when they first started it up, but when I took to it real quick, and it was such a fun time. It so nostalgic because it reminded me of the Silver Age of comics. There's a big hint right there. Batman, the Brave and the Bold.
I also wondered if this one was going to come up.
Well, it did.
Yep. Cool.
I'm glad it did too, because that was a fine show.
It was a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Les?
There's so many. I'm going to go with something I thought lasted far too short. Although small movies were done with the characters. But this had one of the best goofy villains, and that's Phineas and Ferb.
I'll still watch them.
I do too. I'm glad I've got contact with the channel, because to me it's just fun to sit and look how stupid these were, yet these were programs that you'd almost have to explain to children.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's fine. As long as the child would sit and take it in, I have no problem. So there I am. That's what I would like to see extended. They had, like I said, they had some great movies concerning Star Wars, or when Candace becomes the ruler of a planet. These type of stories are just funny as can be, and yet you look at it and you go, that's possible. So
They've made it possible.
To me, they just made it too short a run, because I was waiting for 104 days, and I was hoping we would get 104 episodes, and we did not come close to that.
Yeah. I think they kind of limited themselves when they made it a summer cartoon. I think it would be kind of cool to see some school escapades too, like Recess used to do. But
True.
how is Ferb at school?
Nice. Yep.
I have a Perry. Where's Perry?
Oh, jeez.
And why does this not surprise me?
Oh.
I have no problem with you having a Perry.
Remember Perry from next door at the comic book store? He worked at the deli.
Yes.
Sweetest guy. Well, every time I would see him, that's what I'd be like, "Where's Perry?" And he's like, I'm right here. So I finally had to show him penis and fur so he'd understand why I was always like, where's Perry?
You're a
But
cruel
man,
person, young lady.
I mean, he could tell you about any old Hollywood movie star. I mean, he was very on it, Lone Ranger, that kind of thing. So I kind of threw him off with the cartoon because he was like, what? So
He found his weak spot.
I did. I miss Perry. And then for Christmas, we got him a little Perry watch. Where's Perry?
Jeez.
Damn.
Well, cool. That's a very cool list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get on it, Hollywood.
I'll tell you the truth. I'd like to see Cat and Dog come back. I'd like to see Jimmy Neutron come back.
Yeah. You know, they rebooted Rugrats.
Yes.
And my God, it's crap. I mean, Susie used to be Angelica's age, right? That was her friend. She always defended the babies because they were the same age, and it made it cool when she came around, you know? Well, the reboot has made her the same age as the babies. So she's now a baby, and Angelica is she's no longer a bully. She's just a little whiny brat, you know? So it's kind of like, it just kind of changes the whole dynamic. Yeah. You know, because Susie was kind of their bodyguard. You know, the one time they weren't going to get taken advantage of because Susie was there. And now they've made her a dumb baby. So
Dumb baby. Holy cow.
Well, that's what Angelica calls them, is dumb babies, you know. So just kind of, yeah. I didn't like it. I liked the all grown up one that they did better than this reboot. Plus, I don't understand when you have a good cartoon. I mean, let's face it, Rugrats carried Nickelodeon for a while. And once Rugrats gave up, SpongeBob stepped in and pretty much took over where they left off, you know. Why would you mess with that? And then it seems like when they want to reboot, they go to this CGI stuff. And it's like, yeah, which don't get me wrong, some of that's cool. You know, Jimmy Neutron is all CGI, which is cool because we knew him that way. But It is kind of weird, like that episode where he goes to Timmy Turner and you see Jimmy Neutron drawn as Timmy Turner style, and it's like, whoa, I wouldn't have watched that. So, it's just, you know, I think if you have a good recipe, don't mess with it. You tapped into gold when you did this. Just continue with the stories. Nobody asked for the babies to change or grow up or, you know. So they ruined that one. That one won't make it.
You want new episodes of the same old stuff, is what you're saying.
Well, why not? Take what they did then and put it into 2020, and you've got different circumstances now they can be put into. You've got cell phones now, which would really change the Rugrats game. So it's kind of like just bring them up to modern. You don't have to change with the recipe that you already proved for years worked, you know. The only reason Rugrats was never canceled because of viewership. It was finally put to rest because, like I said, SpongeBob came along and started getting higher numbers, but it was never because of low viewership. It's just people wanted to watch SpongeBob more. So they slowly weaned it down, and, you know, we have what we have now. So it was never canceled because of that, but... And then I think the Klasky Kubspo had a big drama. One owned it and didn't want the... I mean, so yeah, there was a lot more that went into the demise of Rugrats, but you know, it was never because it wasn't popular.
What was the show with the people having to do like a reality show? But
Drawn Together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not that one. This is where they were like at a camp, a summer camp or something.
Oh,
What was that
yes.
called? I know what you're talking about. That came later, but
Something drama.
Was it Drama
Total
Camp?
Drama or something like
Total
that?
Drama.
Total
Yeah.
drama.
Total Drama.
That was interesting.
That was.
I don't know how it lasted as long as it did, but it was interesting.
I think that one lasted the same way like Survivor does. People just like that kind of stuff.
Seen this, done that.
People just forget to cancel things, you know.
Right.
They go on for decades.
But there was another one that I think that was Cartoon Network that they played later in the evening because it wasn't always age appropriate.
Right.
Yeah.
They would do that?
Where do you think Adult Swim came from, man?
Right. And see, an Adult Swim used to be a lot different than what it is now. Adult Swim used to be like black and white cartoons sometimes. And now, of course, it has its own programming and, you know. But I used to like it when Cartoon Network would block off a couple hours and like play the old black and white Looney Tunes and show you how they revamped it for like 10 years later or whatever it was, you know. That was interesting.
Yep.
Or you find out who was behind, you know, what voices and what they were known for, and then they changed it to.
Yeah, it was kind of like there were sections that were kind of like the pop-up video of Cartoon Network, which was cool stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss it. Popped up video. That was actually kind of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
See all the trivia stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But nope, not anymore.
Nah, people don't want. They don't want to give people information now. That's dangerous.
Well, I saw a commercial, and I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Liz.
Yeah.
They're bringing back Behind the Music. You remember the show was on VH1?
Yeah.
It's going to be on Paramount Plus. So it's like they can't even put it back on a minute. I mean, I'm glad it's back, but I mean, it can't even be on a music channel because music channel doesn't play anything about music. They play reality shows. So
Streaming is the way, man. That's what's
See,
gonna happen.
Once again, real late at night, Eddie Trunk has the Trunk Show, and that's the only music show I can really think of that's even out anymore that's worth a damn, you know.
I just wanted to point that out because I just saw an ad for it like within the last day or so, and I was kind of surprised because that was kind of a interesting show to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
a bunch of documentary heads that we got sitting on here on this show, and
right.
Yeah.
I mean, of course it was.
Well, I remember when MTV was actually music. And
don't start that.
Right. Well, like Dr. Demento and stuff, sometimes they would do the behind the music kind of thing, but not exactly those terms, but it was, you know. But it was always the cool bands, like, you know, They Might Be Giants or God, all their names are failing me right now.
Not sure They Might Be Giants has ever been classified as cool, but that's actually a lot of the appeal.
I love them, yeah. Who did that? Bitchin' Camaro. Dead Milkman. That's where I learned about them, too. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. They were another band that was like, what? We're talking about taking the skinheads bowling so they could make them nice. they couldn't tell their heads from the bowling balls.
Wow.
That was the Dead Milkman. You know? And Punk Rock Girl. And we'll name her Minnie Pearl. Yep.
That
Wow,
must
this
have
has
been the
been
week
like-
I was asleep.
Dr. Demento, man. You know.
I mean, I remember him for fish heads, but that's about it.
I was going to say, yep. Fish heads.
Mm.
See, now that's what they need to bring back. There's some weird shit out there, you know, and that was how you usually found out about it was late at night on MTV. You know? They dedicated a whole, 120 minutes to goth music when it first came out.
I believe that was the name of the show, yes.
Yeah. Where me and my friend would always call in and make sure they played The Cure.
Of course you did.
Wow.
Oh, man.
I'm
We
in
have-
pain.
We were talking about cartoons or something, weren't we?
It's all childhood, you know.
Jesus. She managed to tack her rant on at the end, and it didn't even make sense.
Do y'all remember?
No.
No comment.
No.
MTV?
We don't remember anything anymore.
Brain cells. Yeah.
Mm.
They
Need to
brought
see the
Pink
brain
Head
specialist.
back. They could at least bring her back. I think they tried to do a movie though, and it sucked.
Movie with who again?
Eon Flux.
Oh.
Oh,
The movie wasn't that bad. It just didn't really reflect the cartoon all that well.
Yeah.
It was like the best Charlize Theron could do to
Yeah.
get close to the cartoon. I mean, it just wasn't. It wasn't a thing that was really ever intended for live action.
It wasn't.
You just couldn't do it.
Mm-mm.
And they tried, and it was an interesting kind of action movie, but that was about it. It didn't really have anything to do with the cartoon.
Mm-mm.
well, is that a cartoon you would bring back?
Oh yeah, that would be
Sure.
cool if somebody could handle it better, or or at least as well as they did back then. Because I remember it being really trippy, and now with the way our animation is gone, I think they could really make that totally psychedelic, and it would be perfect. You know?
Yep. I wouldn't argue with that.
Damn, that's when MTV was good.
That and Daria.
This is
Yes.
the
Daria was
trap we lead
amazing.
ourselves into every week with our nostalgia shit.
Mm.
I think they just put Daria on Hulu though.
Diarrhea, cha cha cha. Diarrhea, cha cha cha.
We just got a title for today's show.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, at least one.
All right. Any final thoughts before we take a quick break?
No.
Okay. On that note, we are out. We'll be right back with our weekly picks. And we're back. It's time for our weekly picks. And leading off this week is Liz.
All right. For my first pick, it's another one from Scoot Comics. I think Scout has done really good by this line. There's been a lot of cute, good stories coming out of it. This one is called Stanley the Snowman. Like I said, it is a Scoot imprint, so this will be in all ages. This will follow Jenny, who's a little bit of a loner, and her grandfather taught her, hang on, once a generation, one person in the family can bring a snowman to life, and he teaches her this. So this story is about it finally becoming that night, and they say everything goes wrong for her. This was a Kickstarter back in January, so I did get a chance to look at some of the artwork, and I hate to keep saying cute, but it's really cute,
It's kind of your thing now.
yeah, and it's really bold, and I think that it will really set the tone for this heartwarming story. They definitely wanted to make Jenny a strong female character, and from the reviews I've read after the Kickstarter ended, it did get fully funded. They did a pretty good job in doing that. So Christmas in July, cool down a little bit, and read Stanley. And it's cute. He is cute,
Of course
though.
it is.
He's got that little pudgy little face.
Is there a dog involved?
I hope not. You know, we don't like
We
yellow
certainly don't want a
snowmen.
yellow snowman. That would be bad. What are his eyes made of? Oh, never mind. Cool.
Yes.
Should be
That
cute.
sound like fun.
Cool.
It should
Good term for a
cool.
snowman.
Totally. Not really intended, but totally.
Yeah, it's a nice book to chill out with.
Oh. Oh, that pun met with a frosty reception.
Yeah.
Sit down with a little iced tea, and
Mhm.
even the music iced tea.
There you go.
Nice.
Ice.
Baby.
I knew.
Oh God, we're all tired. I could tell.
We are.
Okay,
So
Mike.
should we stop collaborating?
Moving on.
Try to move on so we can get this done with it. Get the hell out of here.
Right.
That train was a rolling.
We thought coming.
Oh, God. Oh, wow.
Sorry, Liz.
You broke Liz.
Oh man, I had a flash of Mike Tyson there for a second.
Ow.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. Gonna choose to believe you for the moment. Alrighty, so my first pick, finally, is from IDW, and fittingly, I think, we did not really plan it this way because I wasn't really sure when this was coming out, but I'm picking the comic book history of animation, which is I guess a graphic novel, which is from the guys who did the comic book history of comics, among other things, and also Action Philosophers, which is another cool series. But these guys have turned their powers of comics toward animation and animated movies and animated shows and stuff, and kind of the history. And these guys they do a lot of research, and they're really good at getting a lot of really interesting little tidbits about things. And so, also, full disclosure, this also was a Kickstarter like a year ago, and I backed it then, and this is a really good book. So here's your chance, go get it if you did not get the Kickstarter.
Cool.
That's a great choice.
Yeah, that is.
Nice. Alrighty, I am next, and for my first choice is a new series from Image Comics titled Siphon, and the story is about a EMT who has the ability to sense and siphon pain from other people. But the thing is the more he uses this ability, it curses him with of carrying the burden of other people's pains that he's siphoned. And not only that, it attracts other forces that want that power. So this sounds very intriguing. I kind of liked it. I kind of like this idea, so I want to check this book out.
It does sound cool.
Yep.
I always said I had a magnet for that. I guess I have a siphon.
Could be.
Yeah.
Just cool it, would you?
Oh, God.
Chill, Liz. Please. Chill.
Somebody please put her on ice.
Les, it's your turn.
When Liz finishes laughing, I'll go.
I would say save us, but hell, at this point, you're the one keeping this going. So,
When Liz stops laughing, okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Should
Good night, everybody.
Let it go.
The rest of it will be on our website since you won't actually hear it.
Now, my first choice is Bermuda #1 from IDW. In this book, things disappear in a region in the Pacific. Planes, ships, traveling people all start disappearing. And there is an island uncharted there where a young girl, Bermuda, lives. She's 16 and a survivor. And this is the only life she has ever known on this island. But she discovers something on the island that will either open a doorway between her world and ours or destroy it. I'm into this mainly because of the art by Nick Bradshaw, and I'm ready for this detailed type of read.
Sounds good.
Yeah, this was on my radar, so yeah.
sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, if Liz is ready, and she's not.
All right, I'm good. For my
Yeah, that was a great start. That was definitely the start of someone who is good.
Totally convinced.
all together.
I'm in on this one. Yeah, thank you.
Sounds good, right?
Yeah.
All right. For my second pick, it's the quarterly from Zenescope. They're Tales of Terror. It's called Game Night. This will put all of our favorites together. Friendly games, sitting around, chilling with friends and stuff. But apparently they have someone unexpected show up, and they say that not every game has a winner. So I guess somebody changes the rules on them. Should be pretty good, of course, because we got Tedesco, Bruscia, and Franchini working on this one together. So I'm excited to see what they give us in Game Night.
They want to play a game.
Yeah.
Then Billy the Puppet shows up.
Right. Little tricycle.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty, Mikey.
Oh, cool. It's my turn. My second pick is from Boom Studios, and I am picking Dark Blood #1. This should be very interesting because this is, well, there are hints, but ultimately this is the story of a young black man who gains strange new abilities in Alabama in 1955. So this is going to be an interesting story, and it's going to be um, it's definitely got some stuff front loaded into it. So I am looking forward to seeing how this gets handled. I have some confidence because the writer is someone who has got some interesting writing credits. Um, it's Latoya Morgan, who did some writing for the Walking Dead TV series. So I am interested in taking a look at this one. I think it's going to be fun.
That should be.
Yeah, sounds pretty cool. Sounds interesting, definitely. And for my second choice, it's a hardcover graphic novel. This is from NBM. I apologize for that. Entitled "Love Me, Please: The Story of Janis Joplin." And obviously, this is the story of her and her rise in rock and roll, and for the short time that she was there. She only did 4 albums, and the fourth one was actually released about a month and a half after she had passed. But this would be pretty cool, kind of chronicling her journey in the rock world and everything that happened. It sounds like it might be pretty cool. I don't really know all of her story. This is written by Nicholas Finette and art by Christopher. Yeah, so it should be kind of fun. Should be an interesting story. I don't know about fun, but maybe an interesting story to read.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a great ending, but yeah.
It's not. If you know how it ends, it's not really fun. So that was a poor choice of words on my part. But interesting read.
Yep, should be good.
She had a dynamic and distinctive voice, for sure. And Jimmy Johnson is proud that he went to school with her. He'll bring that up from time to time.
Jimmy
Okay.
Johnson, the former football coach.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Neat.
Alrighty, Les.
Keeping in that theme of dark and dreary. No, not really. My second choice is the Trailer Park Boys Get an Effing Comic Book #1. Hopefully you have seen episodes of Trailer Park Boys, which was a television program from 2001 to 2018. And it deals with characters living in a trailer park, the Sunnyvale Trailer Park. In this magazine, you'll find stories about the characters. You'll see or read original short stories. You'll read stories that were based on scenes in the TV series. This is funny stuff to start, and I got a feeling it's going to transfer to the comic book page. So I'm in with this. It's Devil's Due putting it out, and I'm happy to see this being done finally after being around for that damn long. So try this one out.
Cool.
Could be interesting.
It could be, definitely. All right. Any special shout outs or mentions this week?
No, don't think so.
No.
Okay.
Not at this end.
Okay. Go on to our regular shout outs. Want to thank Pop Goes the Culture Podcast Network for allowing us to be a part of a great group of fellow podcasts. Highly recommend you check them out. There will be a link in the show notes. Thank you guys as always. And of course, we want to thank the fine men and women who make up Podern Family, who've been so awesome to retweet our new releases. Definitely want you to check out their work. And the best way to do that is do a search, #Podern Family, all one word, and just scroll through, and whatever catches your attention, by all means, download that episode and hope you have a good time listening to them. Thank you guys, as always. Want to thank Maddie the Martyr for supplying the music to the podcast. There will be a link in the show notes where you can check out their music. Thank you guys, as always. And last but certainly not least, you, dear listener, thank you for downloading and listening to today's episode. We value your feedback. Any kind of comments, questions, suggestions, complaints, observations, what have you. Please send them our way. There are several ways you can do that. Our email address is email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. Or you can go to the website, go to the About Us page, and there's a contact form you can fill out. We're on Facebook, The Fellowship of the Geeks, and obviously we're on Twitter, @Fellowship Geeks. Please follow us there, and you can contact us through the direct messages there. If you'd like to follow our personal Twitter accounts, Mike can be found @MikeyGeek. Liz can be found @LN_geek. Les may or may not be found under a fake Les Webster. And I can be found @TomTCGeek. And from wherever you download our episodes, if you would be so kind as to rate and review us, it would be greatly appreciated. Anything else before we say goodbye?
Just thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate you listening, everyone. We do appreciate your support. Until next time, geek on, my friends.
We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook @The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter @Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,